Welcome to Learn English Fluently Now. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
Introduction: when you don't know where you're going. There comes a moment, quietly and without warning, when you wake up and feel like a stranger in your own life. Maybe everything looks the same, your room, your job, your routine, but inside, something has shifted. The spark is gone. The direction is unclear. You go through the motions, smile when you're supposed to, respond when people talk to you, but deep down, you're unsure of everything. You can't explain it to anyone, and worse, you can't explain it to yourself. This feeling doesn't always arrive dramatically. Sometimes, it slips in silently over time, like fog creeping through the streets at night. You don't notice it at first. But then one day, you look around and realize you have no idea how you got here or where you're headed next. You feel lost, not in a physical sense, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally, lost in life. It's easy to feel like you're the only one going through this. Like everyone else has their lives figured out while you're the one who took a wrong turn. But the truth is, feeling lost is not a flaw. It's not a failure. It's a phase, a deeply human experience that almost everyone goes through, whether they talk about it or not. We're taught from a young age to aim high, to succeed, to know what we want and chase after it. But no one teaches us what to do when we lose our way. No one shows us how to sit with uncertainty, how to explore confusion, how to rebuild when nothing feels clear. And so, when that moment comes, when life no longer makes sense, we panic. We question everything. We think we're broken. But what if this moment, this chapter of feeling lost, isn't the end of something? What if it's the beginning? This video is about that moment. About what it means to feel lost and why it might be the most important turning point of your life. We will explore the silent pain that so many carry but never speak of. We'll look at the illusions of success and the quiet hunger for meaning. We'll unpack the weight of expectations, the confusion of identity, and the longing to feel grounded again. Whether you're a student, a worker, a dreamer, or simply someone who feels like they're drifting through life, this is for you. You're not alone in your questions. You're not weak because you don't have all the answers. You're human. In the chapters ahead, we'll go deep. Not with quick fixes or shallow advice, but with real stories, reflections, and insights that speak to the heart. We'll explore how feeling lost can lead to something new, something true. And how sometimes, it's only when we're lost that we begin to find ourselves. So if you're ready to step into this journey, not just to be found, but to understand why you felt lost in the first place, then stay with me. This is the beginning of something powerful. Let's begin. Chapter 1: The Silent Epidemic of Feeling Lost. It's not something people often talk about. In fact, it's one of the quietest struggles in the world. You don't see it on the surface. It hides behind smiles, job titles, daily responsibilities, and filtered social media posts. But more and more people are carrying it inside, this heavy, invisible feeling of being lost. Look around any crowded city street or quiet neighborhood. People are moving, working, laughing, scrolling. But behind many of those eyes is a deep uncertainty. A question that keeps returning in the quiet moments: Is this really what my life is meant to be? It's a question that echoes in silence, because no one wants to admit they don't know. No one wants to confess they feel disconnected from their own existence. The world today is more connected than ever before, yet so many feel more isolated than they've ever been. We have endless access to information, entertainment, and other people's lives. But instead of bringing us clarity, it often leaves us feeling more confused. We scroll past the successes of others and wonder why we feel like we're standing still. We compare their paths to our uncertainty. And slowly, we begin to believe that something is wrong with us. But what if the problem isn't us? What if we've been sold a version of life that doesn't make room for being unsure? We've been told that life is a straight line: grow up, choose a career, find love, make money, and everything will fall into place. But real life isn't like that. It's messy. It's unpredictable. And sometimes, it makes no sense at all. Especially when you're in the middle of it. Feeling lost is not a rare experience. It's common, more common than people are willing to admit. And yet, there's shame attached to it. Because our culture values certainty. It celebrates those who move fast, speak with confidence, and never hesitate. But what about those who don't have it all figured out? What about those who feel like they're floating without direction? This is where the epidemic begins. Not in failure, but in silence. People feeling lost, unsure, disconnected, and thinking they must be the only ones. But you're not alone. In fact, the very fact that you're asking these deep questions means you're alive. It means you care. It means you're paying attention. You see, many people go through life asleep. They follow routines, chase goals, tick off check boxes, but never stop to ask if it all feels right. They may never feel lost, not because they're on the right path, but because they never pause to consider if they're on the wrong one. But you, feeling uncertain, feeling stuck, even feeling pain, that's a sign of awakening. Feeling lost is not a sickness. It's not something to fix overnight. It's a signal. A call to look deeper. A whisper that maybe the life you've been living doesn't match who you really are. Maybe the version of success you've been chasing was never yours to begin with. And maybe, just maybe, this feeling isn't the end of your journey, but the start of a more honest one. So many people hide behind the fear of appearing confused or unsure. But let's be real, confusion is part of the process. In fact, it's necessary. You can't build something true without first tearing down what's false. You can't find a new direction without first admitting that the old one no longer fits. This chapter is about naming the experience. About making space for it. There's power in saying it out loud: I don't know what I'm doing right now. I feel lost. When you stop running from that truth, you give yourself the chance to understand it. You stop pretending. And in that honesty, you begin to see more clearly. Let this be a space where it's okay to not have the answers. Let this be the beginning of a different kind of conversation, one that doesn't rush to fix you but walks beside you through the fog. One that understands that being lost isn't weakness. It's an invitation. An invitation to slow down, look inward, and begin again. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're simply in the middle of becoming. And that is a story worth telling. Chapter 2: How Society Makes You Feel Behind. From the moment you're old enough to understand language, the world starts to measure you. Your age becomes a timeline. Milestones are mapped out. Walk by this month. Speak by that year. Finish school at this time. Choose a career. Fall in love. Start a family. Buy a house. Build a life that fits the image handed to you. And if you don't? If you take a different route? If you pause, stumble, or simply don't know? Society whispers, or sometimes shouts, that you're behind. The pressure is everywhere. It's in conversations with relatives asking what you're doing with your life. It's in job applications requiring 5 years of experience by age 25. It's in engagement announcements, graduation photos, and the stories of others that flood your social feeds. It's the silent but sharp message, you should be somewhere else by now. But who decides where somewhere else is? Who created the clock we're all racing against? The truth is, most people don't even stop to question it. They follow the structure because it feels safe. And yet, even those who seem to be ticking all the boxes often feel an emptiness inside. They're on time, but unfulfilled. They've met expectations, but lost connection with who they really are. When you feel lost in life, it's often not because you've done something wrong, but because the world convinced you there's only one right way to live. And you're not following it. But what if the standard timeline doesn't apply to everyone? What if your path is meant to look different? What if your growth, your healing, your discovery takes time that no one else understands? And what if that's okay? Society tends to value speed. Fast success. Quick results. Early achievements. But real life, the kind that's built from truth and lived with heart, moves at a different pace. Sometimes, the most important things take years to bloom. Sometimes you need time to fall apart before you can put the pieces back together in a way that's honest. And yet, every day you're told that you're running out of time. That there's a deadline for dreams. That if you're not already there, you may never get there at all. It creates a constant sense of anxiety, like you're always late for a train you weren't even sure you wanted to catch. This is not just stressful. It's dangerous. It pushes people into choices they don't truly want. Careers chosen out of fear. Relationships formed out of pressure. Lives built not from desire, but from desperation to keep up. And then, years later, many wake up in lives that look successful from the outside but feel hollow within. That is not the life you deserve. When you feel behind, pause and ask, behind whom? According to what timeline? Based on whose definition of success? Your journey is not a race. It's not a competition. It's a path that only you can walk, at the pace that's right for you. And sometimes, stepping off the expected timeline is the bravest thing you can do. It's not falling behind, it's choosing to stop and question. Choosing to listen to your own voice instead of the noise around you. There is no too late when it comes to becoming who you are meant to be. You're not supposed to arrive anywhere by a certain age. Life is not a checklist, it's a canvas. And it's okay if your painting looks different from someone else's. Let go of the belief that you must constantly be progressing in visible ways. Growth isn't always public. Sometimes, your biggest leaps forward happen quietly, in the solitude of reflection, in the depth of struggle, in the courage it takes just to keep going. So if you're feeling lost and the world is telling you that you're behind, remember this: you're not behind. You're becoming. And that takes time. You are not late to your own life.
To be continued. Subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming next.